Okay, you guys, welcome. Thanks so much for popping on. This is exciting. We have some really big news. And so far, before we got on, we were talking about Instagram and highlights and how to make your Instagram look really nice. And there's Rochelle. Good to see your face too. And so I want to keep that conversation going for just a minute because that was something I had on my agenda. So there's a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the specific training on how we talk to people, because there's so many scenarios of how to talk to someone and what we're going to hear back. So that's our specific training tonight. And then as well, you guys all have, personal experience with what you're hearing. And so we don't want that to go just in your ear and not sort of gain value from what is everyone hearing and how are you approaching that? How are you dealing with that and meeting needs and providing value? So that's the training portion, but there's a few housekeeping things. So let's go ahead and stay on this topic of Instagram and making your feed look clean when you have an opportunity to. Sometimes there's a quote on, there's 3 frames. Sometimes there's a quote on the left and then a picture in the middle and a quote or an inspiring message on the right. Or you could have it where it's an inspiring message in the middle and then 2 pictures, or you could have it like a checkerboard. So as you look on Instagram, you'll see that, there's different options. But as you're just getting started, that's not your main focus, right? But like you just said, Cheryl, it's in the new coach checklist, and that's in both team pages. So you can find it either place, and everyone should have the new coach checklist, even if you're not brand new, as your jumping off point, because you're going to be bringing leaders through that very important, substantial piece of training. And I have some other things in the works for graduation from certain things. Okay, so once you complete the new coach checklist, you get a gift, and then you can feel like that you have some tools in your tool belt. So with Instagram, I do want to have you guys make sure you write this down too about your hashtags, because I've been watching people's hashtags, and when someone starts, it's really common that you would think, well, I'm posting a workout, so I'm going to write hashtag fitness or hashtag workout. And it becomes so like every coach thinks of doing this. And so that becomes your main hashtag life. But what I want to encourage you to do is move in the coach checklist. It also tells you not to do that. It tells you to really look at what represents you as a whole person. And if you're working out, then you might be a little bit more specific about like dumbbell mom or bar lifting, or something where it's a little bit more of a specific group. And then you want to also have a smaller number, because if you type in hashtag workout or hashtag please do not do Beachbody Coach, please do not do Shakeology, 21-day fix, none of that, because that's just going to draw other coaches, and it's not the point of what you're using your social media for. So instead, you want to highlight a hashtag that has fewer people posting to it so that yours gets seen. So like I'll do twin mom or mom of boys or mom of 5 or homeschool mama or hip homeschool moms. And I'll look, and I won't usually use that unless it's under 30,000. I really don't want to post, over that. Okay, so we want your stuff to get seen, and if it's in a 2 million viewer hashtag, it's not going to get seen. Okay, the scroll will happen so fast. So we have to know the purpose of a thing, right? Is it Vodi Bakum that says you have to know the purpose of a thing to not abuse it? So I really love that quote. But back to what we were talking about before this meeting started is how to make highlights. So do you want to? Thank you for letting me officially start the meeting, but do you want to share what you were saying about how to make your highlight reel on Instagram? Is that where you were going, Cheryl?
Yeah. So there's a little plus section when you go to your profile. It's a little plus on the left, and it will say add highlight. And so what you can do is highlight your stories. And so it's really important to think about your stories ahead of time. So I'm doing a whole recipe thing. I'm starting a new live video channel every Sunday called Closet Confessions, and I just wrote confessions for that one that I'm highlighting. And so what you can do then, go into your Instagram stories when you're posting it. There's like 3 little dots on that, and it'll say you have highlights, and you can put it to the highlight and choose which bubble it goes into. So if you're wanting to do, like one of mine was get inspired. So when I put an inspirational quote or something on my story, I then highlight that. So your stories only last for 24 hours, but a way to keep your stories so that people can still see them beyond those 24 hours is to save them in those highlights. And so that's what that's for, so that your story stays, because it's only there for 24 hours. And so if someone hasn't seen your story within 24 hours of you posting it, they just aren't going to see it.
Okay.
Unless you save it to your highlights. And so that's a way for you to not just have your pictures like Becky talked about, the checkerboard or one on each side. You can also have your highlights that then connect to the rest of what you're doing, the rest of your Instagram feed.
Okay.
And one of the things they also brought up in your story that's important is to use the geotags. That's the #1 way that people end up getting found by others. Tagging different cities. And I even tagged the city I went to college in, and a bunch of people went, "Are you in Oklahoma City?" And I said, "No." But everybody saw them what I posted in Oklahoma City because they were looking at Oklahoma City. And so then they asked me questions about it. And so that's helped me get followers from other places. So I tag Seattle sometimes, even though I'm 30 minutes from Seattle. I'll tag Portland when I'm in Vancouver, things like that, just to get a wider base of people. Becky one time tagged, where were you, Malibu? Or somewhere, and you tagged Malibu, and somebody's like, "Oh, I love Malibu," or something happened where somebody found you that way.
Yes, yeah. San Diego, I mean, all over. You can tag places that you aren't close to also, or places that you went on vacation. So I just did a Mexico one this last week because we went on our trip there. So it's really just having fun with it. You know, you don't have to stress out. This is not rocket science, and all the top coaches will say, like, it's a lot of trial and error because technology is changing so fast. So really lean into it and enjoy learning something new. I was going to share yours, if you don't mind, Cheryl, your highlight reel. I had it pulled up for just a second here. Here it is. Would you mind if I shared that? Just the top screen.
Go ahead.
I think you're going to say no. Okay. So this is such a great example. So here's Cheryl's Instagram, okay? And you can pull these up on the desktop, right? So here's her profile, and because it has a red circle around it, you guys know, probably you know, that this means that she has an active story in the last 24 hours. So as you're looking for clients, you can say, wow, someone who's got a red circle, they're already familiar with social media. That's a great person to talk to about business if they've, you know, if they're kind of like your kind of person. They're more up on social media than most people, okay? But that doesn't mean that they have to be in order to have a business. It just means they're doing something already with social media. But these are the circles that are highlights. And so she's got pictures. This one looks familiar. And what it does is it runs through. Is there one of these that you would want me to run through with you? How about like sit with us? Let's see if that one has, you know, just the one picture or whatever. But anything that you do on stories, it might just be one. I think I've looked at yours already. Anything that you do on stories, you think that was really good, I want to save that. It can automatically save to your phone. And so you can keep this, you know, maybe you have like favorite Bible verses as something you want to encourage people with. What you would do is like put on their encouragement, you know, and then you could have like, you know, 10 slides of your favorite Bible verses. And then this is cool. Like, what should we talk about? Asking people what they want to know, because people don't reach out. And so if you noticed, it went from confessions to her next subject, which is family shenanigans. All right. And this means that she posted this already on Instagram. So as you look for people on Instagram, just notice what they're doing, right, for their highlights. And sometimes you'll see photos. Sometimes you'll see they'll have just still shots or videos there. You know, like a lot of people will put on there, what's coaching about? Or what do I do for business? My job. And then you can do like a short little video that says like, hey, I got to tell you, like, this is the coolest gig. I get to do this from my car, from my, you know, from the beach, wherever I want. I get to pick up my kids and use that 30 minutes. You can tell them a little bit about coaching and how we help change lives. in these highlight reels, and people will go to them, and then you can also see who has viewed them just like a story. Does that make sense? Pretty cool, right? Very cool. And if this is brand new, please don't let it make you shy away from it. Remember, our goal this year is to lean in. All right? Lean in. So that was awesome, because that was something I wanted to talk about anyways with hashtags and Instagram. And I do love that you mentioned the geotags. That just means like any city, right? Okay. Any questions about this Lovely profile here? Oh yeah. Last thing. Please do tag Team Living Well. Okay? Because we need to, on your good ones. Like, you're gonna here it is. On your crisp, good photos, okay? Do that. So like a different representation of like your life. I like that one. I just did that one. And it doesn't have to be only workouts, okay? Like this was me talking about remodeling my fitness studio. All right, so then I tagged a vacation. We want a breadth of what we do. I love it. So it's really, okay, Kendra put her certification on there. So Rochelle, you could do something like that with yours. Families working out. You see what I'm saying? Like it's so valuable to have this as a team page that I actually have this on my business card, you guys. I did not do traditional business cards. So we're kind of just doing like tips right now, but can you see that? That's my business card. And I have my phone number and my email, and then our team hashtag. So that's showing that we're cutting edge and that we're using social media. All right. Pretty cool. And I would highly recommend putting your photo on. If you come to Disney, we'll do like headshots. So get your photo on your business card. It is amazing to have that. Okay, I'm going to close that. And the last bit so I hope this is exciting, because it excites me to be meeting cool people out and about. The last bit of housekeeping would be Super Saturday is coming up October 20th. Do you guys know where you're going to go for that? That's our quarterly coach event. You're coming to Portland. Sweet. Okay. Emily Warren's going to be in Portland too, and then a bunch of us. So that's going to be really fun.
Tulin Emery is going to be there.
Are you serious? I had not heard that.
He's coming to Portland.
Okay. That's so amazing. She's never been out here. Okay. She's really fun. She's sweet. Sweetheart. You guys know who she is? Her husband has MS, and they were in Shift Shop test group. And, they battled weight. They actually started this business when they were homeless, and she used to live in her car. She's became a plus size model, but she started this business with no money for the challenge pack. So like she just has grown. Cheryl, you probably know more about her because you actually follow her stories into things, but she's a very successful coach, very inspirational. But her husband did Shift Shop with her, and he was in a walker, and he was giving it his all, you guys. And that is just something that, when people say I can't move, or I'm creaky, and it really shows that no, like you can do more than you think, and we can always pull more from the body and more from the spirit, that drives us. So what were you going to add anything about her?
I was just going to say so the Shift Shop Proving Grounds that's coming out in October, Chris, it's reformulated Shift Shop. Tulin's part of his production team. She's part of the team that does it on the video. And there was a moment where they were considering pulling her out, because you can just see she's dying. She's at the end. She has no more. And Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, was like, no, this is where people at home are at. We need to show them that these people are struggling. Like, our actors are struggling. This is what people are doing at home. And for me, it really made a concerted effort, which I've seen over the last year with Beachbody, that they're trying to widen their demographic and be more aware of who's really part of the program. Because for my customers that weigh 350 pounds, seeing Tulin, who weighs almost 300 pounds, really struggle in a program that they could probably do in 6 months is encouraging. And so that's a really neat thing that I love about it, is that she doesn't look like everyone else. She weighs like 270 pounds and she's doing these programs. And so if you have a customer who's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not yet, show them the video of them filming and pausing and really kind of pulling the veil back and showing that, because it's worth watching.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I 100% agree with you that we are widening our demographic, which it's very timely. And I do forget sometimes that people have that narrow view of what we do, and it's not their fault, right? Because we've been around for 10 plus years. And so someone who had an experience with Beachbody, right, 8 years ago or 5 years ago, before, before we started making this major shift to family fitness and overall health and fulfilling lives, then, they're not going to know that we're not just insanity and like raw, like hard pressed exercise. And so we have this amazing blend. So make sure when you do talk to people, I talked to someone this week who, when I said, Beachbody, we use Beachbody program, she told me, she's like, well, she had this experience. And I was like, hey, this is so amazing that we're talking right now, because it's completely transformed. And just be super confident and bold in that. And always, listen to their side of the story and what they didn't like about that experience. But yeah, it's definitely becoming more inclusive of different body types and different challenges, as people have had real struggles that they need a solution for. So you can go into every conversation very, very proud of this. All right. Okay. So next, last two pieces of housekeeping. They'll be a lot quicker. One is, I got to thank you today by text, but when you guys get gifts from me or your upline or the company, right? Like I just got this in the mail, my coach hat, right? Did you guys see that? That's for Hitting Success Club. That's your month one of the 3 months of gifts, because we give gifts every so often for Success Club. So post about it. Say, this just came in the mail. I get rewarded for doing my job. Make sure that you are shouting that out. If I send you something, please use that as an opportunity to say that you got a gift, or show the package, or show the gift, or put it in the light or whatever, because that's a big part of our business. The recognition piece is not limited to rank advancements, which are huge, right? And shout outs are huge. But you've got to show people that there's more happening behind the scenes, because even like discount coaches don't even have a clue all that we're given, all the benefits that are there for them. And it's, it's just, you have access to all of this, but if people don't dig in, they're going to miss it. So make sure you post that on all your social medias when that happens. And that's one of your 30 things on your list of things you love about coaching. Okay, that you would post once a month. Remember, we talked about a list of that. So reasons you love coaching, one is like receiving gifts or receiving recognition for doing a good job. So I just got to send out a whole nother few packages of like new Emerald gifts. Okay, so that's that. And then the second thing is, if you could talk to any 3 people in Beachbody land, who would you want to talk to? Think in your head for just a second. I have to see who's at my door. One of my children probably. This happens every time. But think who you would want to talk to, because I'm going to tell you who our special guest is going to be. Okay. Any favorites? Because we can also take requests for who we want to visit with on team calls.
Whoever got pumpkin spice Shakeology pushed through. Like that person deserves an award.
That's a good, oh.
I mean, I know like Roach and I make them from scratch because we already make everything from scratch, but like that made all my basic customers so excited that they could just dump it or shake it on the go.
Yeah.
And they could pass Starbucks and not eat crap.
Oh, that would be a good post, wouldn't it? Like holding up your packet and being like, peace out, Starbucks, you know? Okay. So you want to talk to whoever got that through.
Yeah.
There's going to be more flavors coming too. Very excited. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone that you've had your eye on or who you just want to pick their brain? When you go to NLC, you'll get to meet like our chemists and things like that. So that's very, very fun.
Yeah, that would be one I'd want to talk to as the chemist. I struggle sometimes just with not carrying a grass-fed product. And so I'm curious. I just have some questions for them like, hey, talk to me about what the reason is for that. And some other questions like that.
Cool.
And then Carl Deckler, because of just how he started, you know. I don't know if you've read his story. Heather, have you read his story or about the CEO? Just he had this vision about doing workout videos long before. So he actually went to college, didn't know what he was going to be when he grew up, blah, 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 blah. It's a really cool story. It was in Forbes, I want to say. I don't remember where I read it. But anyway, just his vision of having workout videos. And so he was part of like the 8-minute abs. Remember the 8-minute abs? Do you remember doing workout videos with me when we were kids?
Oh my gosh.
So I've been doing, you know, the home workout videos for a long, long time. But anyways, I would just love to pick his brain about that vision and what that was like. And more just his history of having that kind of vision and how he reached for his dreams to make that happen. And then I like Joel Freeman would be my third, just because of his energy and his positivity and how he went from being kind of in the behind the scenes, not trainer, but sales, you know,
Yeah.
He was sales. So do you know who Joel is, Heather? No, he's the one that did Core to Force. He's on Lift 4. Yeah. And so he was big into the gym sales and selling of fitness plans and stuff before he actually became a Group X instructor and then worked his way on up. Yeah. Yeah. So just super cool to see people in the industry come from grassroots, you know. I'd like to pick their brains on what that was like and climbing the ladder and having that vision.
Absolutely. It just appeals to so many people, and people don't know that this is even out here, right? They think that we're just fitness or just workout videos, and they don't have a clue that, you know, they pulled super trainers from YouTube channels, right? Rochelle, you and I have talked about that. So it's very much anyone who has a vision for success can reach high levels. So on that note, I've been on 2 calls with Joel. One when I first became Diamond, and then one recently that he did for Lift 4. So if you look in our team pages and you search his name, you might find him there or a team meeting. And he does specifically talk about some of his transition from the gym sales floor to now a super trainer. But you guys are going to get a special opportunity. So the leaders of Wild Rain, so I'm going to share this with you. We just achieved the highest rank of any team ever this past week. Okay,
Can you explain what that means to everybody, like what that status means?
Yeah, totally. So right here, you're going to see all these wonderful women who are the leaders on Wild Rain, okay? And we are all Diamond coaches or above, okay, and lifetime diamonds, which means that we held our diamond rank for 6 weeks or more, all at the same time. So, I mean, I've been diamond for a couple of years, right? But I've been waiting for like this, it was so cool to see this influx of people come and become diamond all at once. So we went from, I think Jamie was sitting at 6 or 7 star for like, a year or whatever. And then we went to 9 star. And then 2 weeks later, we were at 11 star qualifying. And then, 1 week later, we're at 12 star. And so we're behind the scenes, all this great, great energy. And you guys recognize those names, right? Me, Emily, Courtney, Lacey, Jen, Jennifer, Juanita. And we all, so, you're all thinking like, wow, I want to become a diamond. Well, we can do that same thing when all of you guys go diamond, and we'll be a 5-star team. Living Well will be a 5-star team. Okay. So, but Jamie's right there in the middle, and she has 15 personally sponsored coaches who became diamond and stayed diamond and held diamond in her first business center. So like you look on there, and Christy's not on there, right? Christy's not in Jamie's first business center. Christy's a 5-star diamond, and she's under her husband. She's under Jamie's husband. So she didn't even count for this 15-star. Now, she would have been included in the graphic. Jamie asked her if she wanted to be. But the point is, Jamie might even have like, I'm trying to think who else she has. She might have 1 or 2 other diamonds in other business centers, or she is a diamond in a couple other business centers. So the cool thing is your limit for success is there's no ceiling, okay? But it's something to be proud of, so proud of, because only maybe 50 people have ever achieved this status in the last 10 years. Okay, so we're now one of them. And because of that, you can all be proud, because like for me to be diamond, so many coaches on my team had to be emerald and had to be active and had to be engaged with their customers and their clients. And it's just something that it's a huge team effort. And of course, it's like showing, yes, she has spearheaded, the systems, the protocols, the inspiration, the kick you in the butt. She has kicked, look, hear me say this. She has kicked every single one of us in the butt numerous times, okay? So everybody has days where they don't feel like working, where they have excuses, where life gets in the way, where you don't want to reach out to people, but we're all a little bit scared of Jamie. So it's hard to tell her no, but the reason is we know her passion, we know her fire, and we know that she's going to always elevate her team, and we want to be part of that. And so when you guys feel that struggle, that internal struggle of like, I want to be successful, but man, I had a hard week, you need to remember this picture and visualize this for yourself. I would put this on your vision board, that you're going to be part of this in the next year and the next year, and really be proud of what we can accomplish together. Okay, so because of that, the last announcement here for dates, you want to write down October 13th. Rochelle, it's not going to interfere with Girls' Day, but Rochelle has a local event that she's talked about before. But every Saturday, us leaders, we get together at 8 a.m. So I've been doing this leader call at 8 a.m. on Saturdays for probably 2.5 years. All right. And if you're triple emerald and you hold triple emerald for 6 weeks, then you are invited to attend regularly our leader calls. Okay. But if you're not triple emerald, or you lose it and you don't qualify, you don't hold it, then you aren't going to be showing up on that leader call, because this is people who are working their business, no excuses. They're going to be hitting Success Club. They're going to be, living this lifestyle. And so what we've done though is to celebrate the 15-star energy, incredible achievement that this is. I hope you heard it on National Wake Up Call too, because this doesn't happen very often. We do have a guest speaker, and that is going to be on October 13th at 8 a.m. You guys are invited, providing a few caveats. So I'm going to give you the first caveat, because we're not just inviting like the whole team to just come, because it's really about, this is where we're bringing leaders. This is where we're bringing intention. This is where we're bringing go-getters. And this is where we're bringing people that have a real love to help people. And we want to be able to ask those questions of Carl. We want to be able to let him meet you. I'll tell you what, I've been to every summit, been to every Success Club trip in the last 3 years. I've not hung out with Carl. He's kind of untouchable. So in Mexico, Rochelle, remember, like I got up there to get a picture with him, like he did, but the line was, like 100 deep at the party. So he's very untouchable. So for him to see your face, to interact, you can ask questions. So the first way that you can be an automatic into this call with him is for you to earn Success Club by the end of this month. You will automatically be in to the call. Okay? So all that takes is following up with 3 people. And we're going to talk about how to move them to a decision next. Okay? So that's your first way to get in. And then I'll be updating in the team page what your next permission, like your next invitation in is. Okay? So does that make sense? Okay. Because we don't want to feel like we're doing all this work and people aren't appreciating these incredible opportunities. So everyone, hopefully put that on your mind. And again, go back to remembering that we've got this constant push in our mind, our constant hustle. Let me show you this. Kendra got me this for my birthday back in April. And so I just had Claire put this message on. Let nothing stand in your way. That's a Sean T t-shirt message. Let nothing stand in your way. And that has to be our attitude if we're going to be, earn the levels of success that some of you guys have shared with me. All right? Is that worth working for? What do you guys think? All right. His energy in a private setting is guaranteed to be different than you've ever experienced. Okay, so how do you get those 3 people? How do you help them? How do you make a difference in this world? All right. Last week, I did a call, and if you haven't seen that call, I really need you to go and watch it. You've got to understand the mindset, or this is going to come off a little bit brazen to you. Okay, and I don't want that. I want you to absolutely understand the heart of our mission. But if you only get on 1 call a month, you're not going to understand the heart. All right, so we are reading a book. Those of us who are coming on every week, we're reading a book by Grant Cardone, who is incredibly inspiring and incredibly successful. Cheryl's showing us on Audible the name of the book, The Closer's Survival Guide. So guess who my success partner is and who recommended this book? Rochelle probably knows. You know who my success partner is? One of them? Christy. Okay. So it came through Christy's team, and she is like, this, you guys, this, like, she has a go-getters thread. I'm in her like leaders thread. Because, we have this like mutual respect for each other's teams. And so anyway, she's been a great mentor for me. And so she was like, you guys, this book, it's incredible. And it really is. And the part about this business that makes it frustrating is that people lose their words. They don't know what to say when someone gives them a question, a challenge, you're just having conversation, and maybe you never thought about what their issue is. Maybe you're just like, I didn't have an issue with that, so I have no idea how to approach that. Grant Cardone gives us examples of how to take conversations towards action. And you guys, I took a bunch of notes today as well at the park. I started reading it again, or listening to it again. But if you think about it, and there's a little kiddo cutie that just popped into the room, everyone in this world is offering something, recommending something. Everyone's a closer. Okay, a closer means that you are moving people to a decision, helping them towards action. So even children are closers. If you have been around kids, they are so good at getting you to agree to things that you never even knew you were going to be offering, you know? Can we go to the park? And you're just like 10 minutes into it and you're like, how did we get to the park? I didn't have that on my plan for today, right? So kids are great at being persistent. And so whatever you want in life, all of life, he says, is about negotiating. And you want to help people make logical decisions about every interaction, okay? We want to be able to really hear what their objections are or what their questions are and really, really, really be able to, with levels of confidence, help move them towards new levels of physical fitness, inner health, and also income, new levels of income, because this is a real solution-based business, okay? So let's talk about 3 closes. I'm encouraging you to get note cards, and you can definitely even color code them, okay? You're going to probably go through a few sets of these while you're working out your own words. I don't know if your Zoom will let us do breakouts for Cheryl, but if we get larger groups, we might want to move to breakouts. Okay, so I'm going to go through these 3 closes. The first, go ahead and chat. Go ahead and type in any objections that you have heard, you know, over the course of being a coach, because we did this last week. We started the conversation, but we've got to practice. Okay, so I see I don't have the money. Also, you could type in what you were feeling at your first initial reaction, right? That's very valuable for us to share our initial reactions. I hemmed and hawed just out of habit. I usually brought everything to my spouse just out of respect, but he honestly did not really care. He's never said no to something that I wanted, but I remember pacing in my bathroom like, should I get the 160? Should I get the 180? And like, it didn't matter. I just was being stupid about making a decision. Okay. So the book, it's like 180 chapters, but some of the chapters are like a minute. Okay. Some of the chapters are 2 minutes, some are 47 seconds. So don't let that scare you. And I did ask you to watch last week's video and to listen to the first 5 chapters, but I'm going to continue on faith that you're going to do that before next week, okay? So the first one that I'm going to talk about is chapter 64, and it's called The Spouse Stall Close Number 1, okay? Spouse stalls close number 1. So let's see if anyone wrote that on there. I need to talk to my spouse. Okay, not yet. So Grant says, what if your spouse says no? And let me tell you, because we know that fortune's in the follow-up, because we know that following up and helping someone move forward takes many follow-ups, just understand that people can absolutely fall through the cracks, and that's never our intention, right? Our intention is to get them to be happy with the decision that they're making. I don't care if they come with me or not. Like, I mean, I do care because I want the best for them, but it's no skin off my nose. I just really want them to be honest with themselves and with me, and let's get to work if they're ready to work, right? So I have had people say, what, you know, like, I got to talk to my spouse. Has that happened to you guys? Have you ever had anybody say that? Okay. How do you bring them back? Like, seriously, it's okay if you have the wrong answer, wrong, you know, like, what would you say in that? Like, okay, what should we do, right?
That's a good question. I think I usually am not sure. I'm very insecure around that. And so I say, yeah, I understand. I also would need to talk to my husband before spending over $100. You know, I listened to the book actually, so.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. You told me to get it on one of our one-on-one calls.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you gone through the whole thing?
No.
Okay. I just got a text about someone doing something that I asked them to, and it makes me so happy when people just like have fluid money and they just do things. Like they just don't have hang-ups. So, hey man.
Artist.
Welcome. What, Cheryl? You want to say hi?
You just say hi to Grandma.
Oh.
All right, go brush your teeth.
That's a new one. Have you guys used Zoom before for the two of you?
No.
Okay.
We should.
That's fun. You should start.
What I've done with the spouse one before is say, hey, go talk to them. When should I follow up with you about that? When are you planning on talking to them? Do you want 2 days or 3 days to talk to them? When should I follow up with you? And give them the option to come back. And then I check back in with them, which sometimes they respond and sometimes they ghost me. So it just kind of depends.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you guys are going to be in love with this book. It's really just taking conversations to an adult level, all right? So he says, and I just love his style. I'm really good with people who are just confident and like, I love that. I'm just bring it on, okay? So spouse stall close 1, you want to write that down on your note card. Can you see it? Okay. He says, okay, I absolutely understand. What if your spouse says no? That's your first question. Okay, what if your spouse says no? And then you're going to say, so then there's two answers. So you need to be ready to help them, right? Again, we don't care. They say no. There's no skin off our nose. We're moving on to the next person. So then they'll say, oh, he never says no to me, right? So that, which was the case with my husband. Like my husband's not going to say that's too much money. Like he would never say that to me. We just have like kind of an understanding of like, we just get what we need and we're not flagrant spenders. So if the person says, oh, he's not going to say no, or he never says no to me, and then Grant would say, good, let's get this sent on your way. Let's get you your tools. Go ahead and sign here and here. Okay, so if you're doing a paper type of a business, right? Because let's talk about, I'm going to go through this close. So if he says like on the book, sign here and here, we're going to think that we've got this person already pulled up with the link on Zoom, because that's going to be one of our new strategies of showing them what the value is, showing them a challenge group, showing them all the products on demand, because it's so hard, you guys, to expect people to understand what they're getting, having really never even seen, the view in real time on a video. Okay, so he'll say, good, then let's get this sent on your way. Let's get you the tools in hand. Go ahead and let's fill out this next form, right? This next block on Zoom, right? Because you can show, just like you share a screen, right? You can share, say, go ahead. Okay, let me back up. When you send someone the link, or when you're talking about the link, you say, I want to show you how easy this is to help someone get started. I'm going to show you how I send you your email. You get on Zoom, you share your screen, you send them the email, okay? You can ask them right there, hey, what flavor would you get in an ice cream shop? But this is really like making it so easy for them, rather than like so ethereal and oh, I think she said she's going to send me an email, and you walk them through step by step. Hey, it takes 2 to 3 minutes to get signed up. Can you just get to your computer right now? Perfect. Let me show you. I've done this with so many coaches, and it makes the transition so much easier for when they're signing a coach or a customer. Then they can just duplicate that process. Okay, so you open it up, share the screen, send the share cart with their challenge pack, and you say, perfect, can you make sure the email went through? Open it up, and then you can request remote access from their screen, or they can share their screen, either one. Okay, request remote access. Then you just scroll through and say, this is what you're going to get. Do you have any questions? Is there anything that we need to add? Like, did you know that you can also go here in the future and add like beach bars or a 3-day cleanse, anything like that? You asked me about Energize. Did you want me to add that now, or maybe get it next month? All right, so you are steering the conversation and helping them. So that is sort of where you can be moving towards for your point of sale, for example. So back to the close. If this, you ask the person when they say that they need to talk to their spouse, okay, totally understand. I would have to do the same thing too. Now, what if your spouse says no? Oh, he's not going to say no, right? So if that's the case, great. Let's go ahead and get forward with this. I'm sure he's going to be proud of you for making a decision. Okay. And Grant says, like, that happens all the time. Like, that's the majority of responses. People are like, oh yeah, like, what am I even, it's out of habit that we hem and haw. I'm very guilty of that. So I like it, and I prefer it when Steve just says to me, like, I totally trust you. Like, go ahead and get what you need, right? And he said that to me after I was a jerk and like spent way too many minutes wasting my life hemming and hawing. Okay, the second scenario, if they don't say that, then they might say, oh, well, if he says no, well, then we won't buy. Okay, so that's the logistics, right? He's not going to. He's going to say yes, or he's not going to tell me no, or he's going to say no and we're not going to buy. Then you would need to ask, okay, so would he, like, let's say a man, would he say no to the product or the price? Would he say no to the product or the price? And you're kind of just like really inquiring. And then none of us have really had these conversations, right? This is all new. So if it sounds new, just give yourself a break. Like, at least we're learning something. You can have it on a note card so that you can practice in the car and just get used to teaching this to your team as well. So if they say, the price, we have to talk about price. We have to talk about money. Then you might say, okay, so what about the money? Is it the initial price, the monthly price, the price of other things, the terms? What is it? And you're fleshing out the objection. Okay, does that make sense? Does that kind of give you a path to take with that conversation? If and if they go into like, well, I just don't know if we can afford it, they don't understand their money. Then that's what's happening. It's not that your price is expensive, it's that they don't understand how they spend money. So you can help them, and that's another close of that he talks about in, like, would you like to go through some ways that we can make this affordable for you? Or would you like to really get into how to make this work? Because I'm here to help you, and I will. And I've done that with people. Sometimes they want help, sometimes they don't. They just want to be in like la la land, no man's land. Okay, so again, it's if they say, then we wouldn't buy, then you say, okay, so would he or she say no to the product or the price? Okay, if it's money, then what about the money? And then if it's the product, then you know that you've got to do a little bit more work describing the value of the product and how it would help that specific person's metabolism and body. And you say, okay, so what do you suggest then? Because they've got something in their mind that they're not telling you. And the whole point of these interactions, it's not for us to get one over on them. I can see you guys are texting. It's not to get over on anybody. Please hear me say, you can't say that. It's a lot of words. I can't read all that right now.
That's my note cards.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. On your, you're so advanced technologically. I'm using note cards and you're using the phone, but this is going to be easier for me. Seriously, like, what do you ask them? What do you suggest then? And they might have a great suggestion. They might say, hey, I want to get 2 bags of Shakeology. I don't really want the fitness right now. I've had people do that, and it kind of floored me because I was so focused on my rubric of getting them the challenge pack that I didn't even open it up for them to be thinking about their sister or about their boyfriend or whatever. So that happened early in my first year of business, and I was like, oh, well, totally, you can get 2 bags. That's fantastic. Like, I just didn't even. There's been so many scenarios. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully that's encouraging. So that's spouse stall close number 1. And there's like 4 or 5 of each of these different scenarios. So there's spouse stall 2. And it's really about helping them make the prepper decision. So I'm not going to go into the other spouse stalls. That's one example. And I hope that helps, and I hope you will use that this week, okay? And then another one was the agreement clause number 1. That's chapter 76. Okay, so you can go in. Agreement clause number 1. I have messed this up a lot because I've shared with you guys when someone says that something's expensive, I don't agree with them. I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna work this out in my own brain, because I don't think Shakeology is expensive. But he says agreeing is the number 1 rule of selling, the first rule of selling. So clearly I've been doing okay breaking this first rule. But I think that the intent is purposeful. So I am going to tailor some of what I say. And so if someone says, hey, this is really expensive, you know, I agree it's really expensive, and go ahead and sign here and here. Why do we make it difficult? Okay, I agree with you. Let's go ahead and get this on its way. And so he says, okay, it's not an objection. It's really just a complaint. And they could just be in the habit, like I have been in the habit, and I know certain members of my family are in the habit of just complaining. We just complain. We just are grumpy about things, you know? And so agree with them and move on, because it's not going to change. Or you could talk about the coach discount or the veteran discount. Okay, the number 3, the agreement clause number 3 says, I agree, and everyone else who's ever bought this product has said the exact same thing, so let's go ahead and get this on its way to you. Okay, rolls off the tongue, right? Beautiful. I want to get these tools in your hands so you can start feeling better. I mean, I'm going to say this again. I said it last week, I think. You guys, I won't buy from someone who's passive. I cannot stand the fact if someone tries to talk to me about their business or their product and they don't impress me and they don't persuade me, I don't want to do business with them. It's just, I really respect someone who's passionate, and I really respect someone who stands firm with what they have to offer. Even if it's a friend, I don't care. I've had a friend tell me they have a business, and they never followed up with me. And after like 4 times of me following up with them to get an appointment, I realized they weren't really about their business. They weren't really about the whole client care piece of their business. So just know that there are people out there like me who are watching if you will follow up with them. Okay? That has nothing to do with agreeing, but it has to do with how you have confidence that people are still doing this anyway. Okay, last close. This is fast. This is called the immediate delivery close. And it should help you when you're not sure if someone is really going to open the link, right? They might say, oh, I'll look at it when I get home, or maybe tomorrow, or I'll get back to you in 3 days. Okay, so you would just go ahead and say, okay, so if there aren't any objections or reasons for not moving forward, let's go ahead and take care of this right now. It'll only take 2 minutes. All right, immediate delivery. And I have often said, like, listen, we've got to wait for shipping anyways. We want to get you ready for the challenge group. So if there aren't any objections or reasons for not moving forward with your products, let's go ahead and fill this out now. I'll be on the line and I'll help you. That happens, right? We need to be on the phone with people sometimes, or we need to be on the computer, and I'll just say like, hey, I've got some other things I'm working on while you fill this out. Let me know if you have questions. And then you're silent. Let them think. Let them put their passwords in. They have you on the line for help, okay? So, I know that was a lot. We hit the hour mark because of that awesome conversation in the beginning. But does that help? I've got your chat list there. Does that make you feel a little bit more confident starting to have some responses? Rochelle likes this kind of training. And I love that you're lying down too, stretching it out. I've missed your faces, you guys. I have missed all of you so much. And so just know that I'm here if you have questions, if you have other solutions, other suggestions. I'm not about my way or the highway. I'm about let's be stronger together, like Cheryl said earlier when she shared the link, and I totally appreciate that, Cheryl. So helpful. Looking
My
at
goal is to do that every week from now on.
it's really helpful, right? That we don't have to go searching for links. It helps all of us. Yeah. I'm going to save these objections. Okay, copy. And I want to make sure that you guys have this on Audible. You've got to hear his voice. I don't even know. Can you get it in book print? You could find it, Rochelle? Oh, good. That's at like on Amazon or what?
The Audible app on my phone.
Yeah, it's on, the book print is on Amazon. There was lots of copies that were used.
Fantastic. Okay.
Lots of copies used, but I'm more of an Audible person, so here it is on Audible.
Yeah.
Well, try the library too. A lot of times the public library will have these books.
Right.
And that's a really easy way to burn through PD where that you don't have to burn through your bank account for PD.
Yeah. Or like audiobooks, even if you want to listen in your car. That's
yeah, they
great.
have a lot of audiobooks. They've got video resources. They have a lot of things at the public library.
I'm a huge fan of the library. Do you guys think, so if you watch this recording later, I want to hear if you're going to do it on your phone. Because see, I find sometimes if I have to search on my phone, there's a disconnect sometimes for certain information. So as you're practicing, you can let me know if you would do the note card thing, if that would help you or not. Because some obviously a homeschool mom, so I teach my kids study habits too. But the green ones are going to be the money objections. And then, can't really see the color, but budget objections. And then in my mind, I'll be able to say, oh, that's number 3. Like I'm going to address that and help them move forward. Okay? So that's another.
Can you give me some of your other color code ideas? So green would be budget.
Yeah. So spouse could be red or pink, like for love. Orange, like orange is my favorite color, so orange could be like that was my immediate delivery color. Like, let's get it going. You know, let's just stop screwing around. Yellow could be something that maybe, so my colors are neon. So yellow could be something that you're super uncomfortable with, but you want to have a better attitude about it. Okay, so you're like training your mind to be more bright and cheery. I don't think I have the book handy, but our book club is the Happiness Advantage, and it's bright yellow. Some people have orange.
Started that yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I need to get in that, and I've got a few people that want to get in, and I'm rereading that book now too.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Invite people. It's a free group, so make sure that people know we have a book club. And you guys, the partner challenge is banging. Like, it's amazing. I'm so happy that we did it. I'm really surprised that more people didn't jump into it. It's phenomenal. Like, if you want to feel like you're in a cozy nest and supported, I can probably still get you in there. We literally just started week 2, but you know, it's going for 60 days. So if you're not in that and don't plan to be in that, please let us know what challenge group you are running, because people need to know that they're invited to something. Okay, we still have SOS that someone can take like 2 posts a day and move that forward if you don't want to do the partner challenge. Questions?
I was saying, on your business Facebook page, there's a group tab. So if we have a free group, you can list that as one of your groups in your business page. So if people come to your business page, they can search your groups and say, oh, here's a free group. They can request to join, and you can add them and connect with people that way. So it's an easy way to kind of connect with people, say, hey, check out my groups, and funnel them that way so they can get into a free group.
Thank you for saying that, because I need to I need to get that going. I have a lot of views on my business page, but really no content. So
like the book club group that you're talking about, would that be an example of a free group? Or are you referring to, because you don't mean the challenge group, right?
So you could do a free challenge group where you do like a 5-day workout preview. Roach does that a lot, where she says, hey, let's make an appointment, and they live video workout with Roach. Like, that's how I first met Rochelle, was my internet wasn't working. We were in a challenge group together. One of my free challengers, who's now one of my coaches, who's probably going to go diamond first, she did 80-day obsession with me as like a free challenge of like, hey, I'm doing this, do you want to see what it's like? And that's what Roach did. So she does some free preview groups like, hey, do you want to see this program I'm doing? Or, hey, I think this program fits you. So she'll do it with them for a week, and then after that says, okay, so where are we going from here? And it kind of launches her off into getting them into a challenge pack and a paid group or something else.
Okay.
But you can do a free week-long group, a free day group. Go ahead, Roach.
Yeah. I like working out with my people because we hold a conversation. I've been known for fitness for so long that I think that people find me to be considered extreme. And so by doing the workout with them, and I work alongside them, but then I make sure that we're modifying for them, and I'm helping their form the first few times so they can see that it's very doable and very modifiable. And then they try and meet up with me, but pretty soon I find that the only person that sticks around at my silly early morning is Julie. So, but I say that to say it is a great way if you have people, friends that are interested, that you can just invite them on a Zoom and do a little workout with them. I like to do PIO for like new moms because they're tired and they're sore. So I really like PIO. I really like Core de Force, especially the first one. Shift Shop I like for people that were soccer players. So because they know soccer moves, I don't do the weightlifting with them first. We do Shift 25. And I have them do like 30 seconds of hard and then 30 seconds of less hard, or we'll do a sprint up and then a jog back or something like that. Something where it feels doable and you don't have to go hard for a full minute. So yeah, we can chat a little bit more, but I seem to get when I get them doing the workouts for a few days, a few hours of my time doing a workout with them, they are almost always convinced that it's something they can find time to do.
Yeah, I think that's really great personal service, and it's going to be, you're going to want to work out anyway. So it's a great way to add value. I did put out in my newsletter a series called My Monday, and it was offering 5 different workout times on Monday so that people could start their week again. And I got some response like, hey, follow up with me when I get back from my vacation, or hey, what is this? Like, are you stalking me? Because I totally need this, right? And so again, like we said at the beginning, it's throw something at the wall and see what sticks with your demographic. So your job now is to implement, okay? So I'm going to recommend after every call, you take 5 minutes, once we turn off the call, and you write down 2 things you're going to implement this week, okay? So I would really love for all of you to be earning that call with Carl. You're going to be, having that for photo ops and get to ask him any questions that you have, and he's going to be with us, right? So like he can't dodge any questions. And his wife created Shakeology, so this is just great partnership. So put some of these into action, and the worst thing you can do is do nothing, right? Just go out there and be kind to people. Go out there and listen for the needs. Go out there and meet a need. So we have all the tools, and you don't have to be quiet during the week and just show up on calls. You can post in the thread, post in the team page. I'd love to see you guys working out too. So if you want to put your video of you working out, or like, your super exhausted face in the team page, I would love to see it, because not everyone's in the same challenge groups, right? So I don't see a lot of you guys. You're running your own groups. You're always welcome to do that, or we're in different pods, kind of a thing. So just know that group is also yours, okay? All right. Any last questions?
I just want to say thanks for that freedom. to run our own groups. That call a few weeks ago, it wasn't I don't know if it was the PBJ group or not. I can't remember which call it was, but she talked about the #1 marker for success were her coaches who just started their own success clubs or their own challenge groups. And so I also had a coach start researching what order to take some of our least fit coaches or new customers through. And so it's been really neat to work with her with functional, holistic movement to try and get people a solid base like Rochelle is talking about. And so I appreciate that freedom because I was like, I want to follow the rules, but like my people can't do, like they cannot do shift shop proving grounds. Like, sorry, grounds, like they can't, my mom's over there like, I can't do that. So
I think you always have freedom to run your own groups. The one caveat is I don't want anyone getting burnt out because you're taking on too much by yourself. Okay, so you're not allowed to get burnt out by doing too much. You need a partner. And I really think you need a partner. I'm trying to protect all of your time and energy. And honestly, like I worked out with my, 70-year-old clients doing Tai Chi, and I was like, hallelujah, like this is amazing. I love that. So Debbie, if you watch this, or Donna, Alicia, like I get people doing all the different programs, and that's not to say Tai Chi doesn't hurt either. You're doing foam rolling. And I was like starting to sweat. So it's about what you make of it. And so that's why I'm saying if you have someone who's jumping on at a certain time and you want support, let us know. Let us know if you're uneasy and you're like, hey, I want to meet with my aunt, and I'm not sure how to talk about this program. Let us know. Okay. So I think that's a gift that we can all give each other. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Make sure that you implement, that you go out and do something for somebody with what you've learned. Okay, please make this time count. With that, I hope to see you guys next week. Let me know how it goes. Okay, love you guys. Bye.